So, what happens when a country's rulebook, the one document that's supposed to protect everyone, actually becomes the problem? That was the exact situation Kenya found itself in. And in 2010, they didn't just tweak their constitution, they completely rewrote it from the ground up with the people themselves leading the charge. Let's dive into how they pulled it off. It all starts with this one line, right there in Article 1. Now, this isn't just some legal jargon, nope. This is a declaration of a revolution in a single sentence. It completely flips the old power structure on its head, taking power away from a central government and putting it right where it belongs, in the hands of the people. Okay, it's a really powerful idea on paper, right? But what does sovereign power actually look like in real life? How does this idea change things for you, for your community, and for the leaders you put in office? That's the question we're really going to dig into. To really get just how revolutionary Kenya's new constitution is, we first got to do a quick refresh on what a constitution is even supposed to do in the first place. The easiest way to think about it is like the source code or the operating system for a country. It is the supreme law of the land, meaning all other laws have to follow it. It sets up the whole system, how parliament works, the courts, the presidency, and, most importantly, it puts limits on their power. It tells them what they can and cannot do. Yeah, a constitution does some serious heavy lifting. It spells out who is a citizen and what rights they're entitled to. It gives us the rules of the game for how we choose our leaders and, just as important, how we can hold them accountable or even remove them. It provides a roadmap for everything from managing the nation's wealth to sorting out major disagreements. It's basically the blueprint for a functioning society. So if that's what a constitution is supposed to do, why did Kenya need to do something so drastic? Why a total overhaul? Well, this wasn't some sudden decision. It was the result of a fight that went on for decades. This change definitely didn't happen overnight. The journey really began way back in 1963, with an independence constitution that put way too much power in one place. Over the next few decades, that power just got more and more concentrated. By 2005, the people had clearly had enough. They flat out rejected a government-led draft. But the real trigger, the real wake-up call, was the post-election violence in 2007 and 2008. It showed everyone the system was broken, and that crisis paved the way for the people-led process that finally gave us the 2010 Constitution. And wow, the difference between then and now is truly night and day. Before 2010, pretty much all the power was stuck in Nairobi, far away from the average citizen, the Mwananchi. Now, that power is shared across 47 different counties. Before, public input was basically optional. Now, it's required by law. And a weak Bill of Rights was swapped out for one of the most progressive in the entire world, with real teeth to hold leaders accountable. Okay, so we've seen the problem. Let's get to the good part. The solution. Let's look at how this new rulebook was specifically designed to get power back to the people. This new constitution is really built on three game-changing pillars. First, you have a Bill of Rights that goes way beyond just political freedoms. It protects your right to things like healthcare and a clean environment. Second, there's devolution, which is all about moving power and money out of the capital and into local communities. And third, a really powerful chapter on leadership and integrity, which makes it crystal clear that public office is a public trust, not a chance to get rich. And you know, at the very heart of this new Bill of Rights is one powerful concept: dignity. The Constitution is basically saying that rights to things like housing and clean water aren't just legal details. They are absolutely essential to make sure every single person can live a life of dignity. Okay, so this is where it all gets real. Let's pull these big ideas down to earth and see how they actually make a difference in your day-to-day life. I mean, just look at some of these rights. They are absolutely revolutionary. The Constitution now guarantees access to basics like clean water, housing, and healthcare. But you know what? The most powerful new right might just be the right to access information. This gives you the legal power to demand transparency from the government, to find out exactly how your tax money is being used and what decisions are being made in your name. The Constitution also gives you brand new ways to hold your leaders accountable. It all starts with the principle that leadership is a public trust, not a personal ATM. This is backed up by a strict integrity code and the power for you, the citizen, to question their actions. And if all else fails, you have the ultimate tool, the power to recall a member of parliament who just isn't doing their job. So, all of these rights and powers are anchored by the most fundamental expression of your sovereignty, and that is your vote. And believe me, the 2010 Constitution completely transformed the power of that vote. Because on Election Day, every registered voter in Kenya doesn't just cast one vote, they cast 6. That is an incredible amount of democratic choice, giving you a direct say in who represents you at every single level of government.
So let's break down what those 6 votes are actually for. You're not just picking a president. You're also electing a governor to run your county, a senator to represent your county in the capital, and a countywoman representative. Then, on top of that, you choose a member of the National Assembly for your specific constituency, and a member of the county assembly for your local ward. With these 6 ballots, you are literally building your government at every level, from your own neighborhood all the way to the very top.
This entire amazing system of shared power and citizen oversight, all of it, is unlocked by one simple action: registering to vote. It's the key that gives you access to your sovereign power. This quote really just brings it all home, doesn't it? Elections aren't just some political horse race. They are the moment when the people, the true holders of power, make their voices heard and give the government its permission to govern. And so we come full circle. The 2010 Constitution is so much more than a legal document. It's a toolkit for citizen empowerment. It puts sovereign power back where it belongs, in your hands. So the only question that's left is the one it asks every single Kenyan. How will you use it?